A store called Buy for Less, a parking lot, a front door, a sign, everything a real business needs to look legitimate from the outside. For 6 months, federal agents watched that store from a distance. They watched people arrive every morning. They watched vehicles come and go. They watched men carry suitcases across the border on foot. And in 6 full months of watching, not one customer ever walked through that door to buy a single thing. Because Buy for Less was never a store. 55 feet beneath its storage room floor, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel had built a tunnel, 1,933 feet long, reinforced concrete walls, a rail system, full electrical lighting, ventilation, and a hydraulic lift hidden under a panel in the floor, engineered to move product from Tijuana, Mexico directly into San Diego without crossing a single federal checkpoint. On May 29, 2026, Homeland Security Investigations ended 6 months of silence. In a single afternoon, they seized over 1 ton of cocaine worth $45 million, arrested 4 individuals, and exposed a piece of cartel infrastructure that took years to build. This is the full story. Every detail, every move, and every mistake that brought it down. Take a second right now and hit subscribe before we get into this, because once this story starts moving, you will not want to stop. 6 months of watching December 2025. Otay Mesa, San Diego. Investigators from the HSI Tunnel Task Force open a surveillance operation on a warehouse unit near the Otay Mesa port of entry. The location operates under the name Buy for Less. From the street, it looks like a retail warehouse, signage, a storefront, a loading area. Nothing about the exterior raises an immediate alarm. But federal surveillance teams are not casual observers, and what they begin documenting over the following weeks does not match any legitimate retail operation in their experience. There are no customers. Week after week, agents log the foot traffic at Buy for Less. People enter and exit, but the timing, the frequency, and the behavior of those individuals does not match commerce. Nobody is shopping. Nobody is leaving with purchases. Nobody is doing what people do inside a store. In December 2025, a new group of approximately 7 to 8 individuals begins appearing at Buy for Less on a regular basis. They carry themselves like employees. They move like staff. They are neither. One of them is Gregorio Epifanio Hernandez Lopez, a San Diego resident who begins appearing at Buy for Less no later than January 2026. Hernandez is consistent. He has a routine. And the activity he and the others engage in follows a pattern that agents begin mapping carefully. They carry suitcases. Large numbers of suitcases moved from inside the warehouse into vehicles, or walked directly across the nearby border crossing into Mexico on foot. Federal agents study the way these individuals handle the bags, the grip, the effort. Every physical indicator suggests the suitcases are empty. Moving empty bags is not a federal crime. Agents hold position. They document everything. They wait. The day. Everything moves, 5 months pass. Then comes May 29, 2026. That morning, agents watching Buy for Less observe something different. A male loads 3 large, heavy items into a white van parked outside the warehouse. Not suitcases, deep freezers. The van departs and travels to a mechanic shop at 923.5 Coolidge Avenue, a short distance away in San Diego, and then a man on a bicycle appears. He rides slowly through the area. He is not commuting. He is not exercising. He rides close to parked cars. He looks inside them. He scans the street in both directions. Federal analysts identify the behavior immediately. This is counter-surveillance. The operation has assigned a human being specifically to check whether law enforcement is watching before a single package moves. That man is Brandon Escalante Sandoval, a Mexican national. Escalante rides to the white van, locates a key hidden inside the vehicle's gas cap, a prearranged contactless dead drop, and gets in. He reverses the van into the Coolidge Avenue property until its rear doors are aligned with the rear doors of a second white van already waiting. Both sets of doors open simultaneously. A white stake bed truck enters the property. 3 deep freezers are transferred from the first van onto the truck bed. Then, one by one, packages are loaded into those freezers. The lids close. The truck exits. Escalante steps off the truck. He takes his bicycle from the truck bed. He places the truck keys underneath the passenger side of the vehicle. He rides away without looking back. Minutes later, a second man approaches the truck, picks up the hidden keys, and drives away. That man is Jose Jimenez of San Diego. 3 vehicles, 2 sites, 2 contactless key drops, a counter-surveillance rider on a bicycle, every handoff separated, every link in the chain designed so no two people need to physically meet. Federal agents have been watching every second of it. I want to stop here for just a moment, because what happens next is where this entire investigation breaks open. Before we get there, hit the like button right now. 3 stops, 1 afternoon, 1 ton. San Diego County Sheriff's deputies are already staged and waiting. The truck carrying Jimenez is pulled over first. A K-9 unit works the vehicle. The dog alerts immediately. Inside, 173 packages, 286 kilograms, 631 pounds of a substance that field tests positive for cocaine. At that exact moment, agents watching Buy for Less observed 2 unidentified males loading heavy boxes from inside the warehouse into a second truck. Hernandez gets in and drives. Sheriff's deputies stop that truck a short distance from Buy for Less. K-9 alert, 423 packages, 469 kilograms, over 1,034 pounds. The second white van, still sitting at 923.5 Coolidge Avenue, is stopped separately. The driver is Antonio Cortez, a Mexican national. Third K-9 alert, 255 packages, 274 kilograms, 604 pounds. 3 vehicles, 3 stops, 3 K-9 alerts, all within the same afternoon across a 2-mile radius in San Diego. Combined total, 1,029 kilograms of cocaine, more than 1 full ton. Estimated street value, $45 million, seized before a single package reached its destination. All 4 individuals are in federal custody before the end of the day, but the biggest discovery of May 29, 2026 has not happened yet. What was under the floor? Following the vehicle seizures, a U.S. magistrate judge signed search warrants for Buy for Less and the Coolidge Avenue property. Federal agents enter Buy for Less. They move through the retail floor, the shelves, the signage, the storefront that was never a storefront. They enter the storage room at the back, and there, concealed flush with the floor, invisible to anyone who did not already know it existed, they find a panel. Beneath that panel is a hydraulic lift. The lift descends 55 feet straight down. At the bottom, a tunnel, reinforced concrete walls, an internal rail system running the full length of the floor, electrical lighting installed throughout, ventilation systems maintaining airflow. At its widest point, the passage stands 4.5 feet tall, enough for a person moving in a crouch to push a loaded cart along a rail in complete darkness beneath the streets of Otay Mesa. The tunnel runs 1,064 feet from beneath Buy for Less to the U.S. and Mexico international border. Federal engineers assess that it continues for another 800 feet on the Mexican side, connecting to an entry point somewhere in Tijuana. Total length, 1,933 feet, more than 6 full football fields, built underground, beneath a working port of entry, beneath a residential neighborhood, beneath a store with a sign that said Buy for Less. This is the 99th subterranean passage discovered in the Southern District of California since 1993. Of those 99, only 28 are classified as sophisticated. The last operational tunnel found in this district before this one was in 2022, 4 years earlier. Federal prosecutors connect this operation directly to the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, one of the most resourced and operationally active transnational criminal organizations currently working across the U.S. southern border. What this operation actually means: step back and look at what was actually built here. Buy for Less was not a legitimate business that got taken over. It was constructed from the beginning as cover. The name, the signage, the physical retail layout, all of it existed for one single purpose: to provide a believable answer to the question of why people were moving in and out of a warehouse near a major port of entry at irregular hours. The empty suitcase movements that agents documented for months were almost certainly a logistics protocol, moving equipment or running test loads through the tunnel while teams on both sides confirmed the passage was operational and the cover story was holding up to casual observation. The hydraulic lift beneath the storage room floor required engineering, drawings, construction time, specialized installation. Nobody builds a hydraulic lift into a storage room by accident. It was designed and installed with one specific purpose that had nothing to do with retail. And then there is Escalante on his bicycle, riding through the streets checking parked cars before a major transfer. The Jalisco New Generation Cartel assigned a dedicated human counter-surveillance role to a routine distribution run. They built a detection layer into a single afternoon vehicle transfer. That is not improvisation. That is an organization that has run this operation many times before and learned from the moments it nearly went wrong. U.S. Attorney Adam Gordon stood at the federal press conference and delivered the line that will follow this case in every headline. For these defendants, he said, it was not a light at the end of the tunnel. It was lights and sirens. It is a sharp line, but the line that carries more operational weight came from Kevin Murphy, acting special agent in charge for HSI San Diego, who described this seizure as a significant blow to the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, not a fatal blow, a significant one. That word choice is not accidental. The tunnel is sealed. The cocaine is in federal custody. 4 people are waiting for trial. But here is the question nobody in the mainstream coverage is asking. A tunnel 1,933 feet long, reinforced concrete walls, a working rail system, full electrical lighting, ventilation, and a hydraulic lift hidden under a storage room floor does not get built in a weekend. Construction at this depth and this scale takes months, possibly over a year, which means this tunnel was already operational before federal surveillance even opened in December 2025. How long it was running before that, and how much product moved through it during that time, is something the federal complaint does not answer, and may never fully answer. There have been 99 tunnels discovered in the Southern District of California since 1993. Federal investigators will tell you quietly that the number they have not found is the number that actually matters. By 4 less is closed. The tunnel is sealed, but the Jalisco New Generation Cartel did not build one tunnel. They built a method, and a method does not disappear because one exit point in Otay Mesa is now filled with concrete. Now, before you click away, if this video gave you something that a 2-minute news segment never could, do me one small favor. Hit the like button right now. Seriously, it takes 1 second and it makes a massive difference in helping this channel reach more people who actually want the full story on cases like this one, not just the headline. And if you are not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Every week this channel goes deeper into real federal investigations,